Hey folks, welcome back to Slapdash Garage. Today we got a lot planned. We're going to be putting a clutch in the Miata. Let's get started. Now, we got to put a clutch in. It's starting to slip pretty heavy, and if anybody knows what that feels like, that's kind of like you put the pedal to the metal, but the car keeps going the same speed. And when I let off the gas, I can kind of feel it, the clutch re-engage. So I know it's time, and we can't really have a clutch slipping for autocross because I'll obviously be trying to accelerate and such like that. So there we go. So we're gonna try to see how high we can get this car off the ground, because I want all the space I can get. Okay. Nice and easy. All right, we got the car jacked up on all four corners. One of these days, I want to get a set of quick lifts. That way I can just stick them under there and hit a button and the car will go up. But that'll be another day. Anyway, what we gotta do now is get under here. And that drain plug in the center. We need to undo that, get this transmission drained, and start removing things like this brace, the slave cylinder, get this cross member out of the way. Just prepare to drop this guy out. All right, let's do it. Alrighty, so we got transmission drained. Next thing I'm gonna do is pop off that fill port right there. You can see it with the Teflon tape. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to take that part of the exhaust, these two bolts here and back, and if you look back, it'd be pretty tough to see, but this isn't an exhaust I put on, but if you look closely, there's actually a V-band back there, so that should be, I'm hoping that's pretty easy to just pop off. Once I get that exhaust out, I can take the drive shaft out. Once I take the drive shaft out, I can start looking at other accessories, for instance, not accessories, but things that are attached to transmission, like this slave cylinder here. Should just be a couple of bolts. And then I believe there's some sensors. There should be like a speedo sensor somewhere. That might be it up there. And I think there's one more somewhere around here, but anyway, we're just getting everything disconnected. Transmission's also hooked up to this brace, as you can see, so we're gonna have to take that guy out. And from what I understand, these two bolts pop out and I should be able to swing it to the side. And then from which point we could start working on all of these transmission bolts. These guys are easy. You can tell I have a rear main going out, but it's just a real slow leak. Alrighty. So as you saw, we got the drive shaft out by taking the exhaust out. So that also allowed us to get most of these bolts out and keeping this guy in. I noticed when I took all the bolts out for this bracing, the transmission sagged quite a bit, which probably puts a lot of stress on the motor mounts up here. So I'm going to try to just leave this one last bolt in for up until it's time to take the transmission out, which we're getting there. Now it's time to start taking all these transmission bolts out, and I'll probably leave a few of them loose here that are easy to get to, and I'm going to really focus on trying to get to the top. I might have to get pretty creative, but got our speedo cable out, and over here, oh, you can see we got some kind of sensor out. Not sure what that one does. We also made sure that our filler port or plug can come free. That one was a bear to get loose. Also, the exhaust was pretty tough, but got it all out now. So keep on plugging away. Alrighty, just a little status update. I got that guy loosened, loosened. There's one right here, loosened. There's two over here, loosened. I got everything that one was horrible. And I just, if you can look way up there, come on, focus up. That guy, I got it loosened. I'm in the process of taking it out. And then I think there's one more after that. So keep plugging away. Okay, this should go without saying now, but I don't really know what I'm doing, so we're going to try to use a jack, try to get the transmission out. I got all of the transmission bolts out. Got one more here on the bottom, and then I got this one left here on the frame. I'll take both of those out now, and we'll try to yank this guy out here. Then I might go get something to eat. Oh, you know what? Forgot to disconnect the shifter. Oh, this is awkward with one hand. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this center console out just in case. It doesn't take much time at all. There's just a couple of screws. Okay, so there's a couple of screws in here. There's one over here, and I think maybe, yep. Basically what I'm trying to do is get this boot off. I think we might have to remove the shifter. So there's just a couple of screws here, bolts I mean. So we're gonna try to get this taken apart best of our ability. There's one hiding over there. My pizza got here earlier than I expected, so had a little break. Okay. Real nice fella delivered it. He's pretty cool. Told me to enjoy. I did. While we're doing this, I could probably talk to you about what I've done so far to get in autocross. Up to this point, I'm officially registered for the event. All of these were loose, by the way. And so that wasn't a very difficult process. I just had to go on the Nebraska region of the SCCA online. I'm sure there's probably all kinds of different regions, but mine's Nebraska. So I went online and got registered. Anyway, so I had to pay they called it a weekend membership to the SCCA. All right. That was 20 bucks, and then it was 45 to get in the race. So grand total is 65. Okie dokie. That's where I registered for my number also. We're gonna be running number 40, but I haven't bought a magnet to throw up on the side of the car, so I think we'll just probably run painter's tape. From what I understand about the numbers is you gotta have your number and then your class. And the class that we're gonna be running in, since it's our first event, we'll be running in the novice, the newbies class, which is something that they really, really recommend. Even if you want to try to be competitive, they'll say just get them next time. We really recommend everybody does it. And it's probably so I'm not slowing down the event and stuff like that, so I kind of understand. Okay, shifter's out. Now that we got the shifter out, we should be able to take this guy out. I'm worried I know it's gonna be heavy. So I got this jack here. To help us out. Thing falls on me, I need you guys to go get help, okay? Man, it still feels like we're connected. What are we missing here? Maybe nothing. Maybe I just gotta hit it with my purse. Looks good from this side. From what I could tell, I don't see anything. I'm getting impatient. If you guys know what I'm doing wrong right now, let me know. I can get separation here on the bottom with this pry bar. Oh! I just got peed on. Wait a moment. The exhaust. The exhaust is being a pain right now. How? Oh no. We gotta take that guy out. Mystery solved, Scooby. Okay. I see 2 nuts. I would think that there'd be one on the top of this triangle, but yep, I see it. I feel it, I mean. This may be one of those times I should have put WD-40 on it. Sometimes you just need to take a break. Rethink the strategy. Question why we're doing this. Man, this is a clean car. We haven't tried asking it nicely yet. Do we try that? Nope, I don't think we will. Jeez Louise. Don't slip. Don't slip, don't slip, don't slip, don't. Oh! Ow! Ouch! Sometimes a guy just needs to take a break and rethink the strategy. No, it's a good movie. Surfs up with the penguins. I think that was some of Shia LaBeouf's best work. Evidently not. Woo! We got it. Just with a setup that looks like Drake's. Huh? Exhaust bolts, huh? They're exhausting. Okay, I got you guys in the wheel well. Got the driver's side tire popped off. If we would have done that, we probably would have saved ourselves a lot of hassle. But that's that top nut that I was talking about. We got to get that guy popped off, so I think I'm going to do it through here which should be a little bit easier. I should have the room to use a cheater bar or something. All right, I got it out. This was the bracket that was stopping it from coming off. Transmission was hitting right here, then it wouldn't go anywhere, so we should be good now. Having the space available up here was a big help. That last one wasn't quite as bad as the second one, so maybe we'll know to do that next time. I think we're good. I gotta admit, there was one more transmission bolt left after I took the exhaust out. Whoopsie daisies. I need like one more inch. Observe. Look at that. Alrighty. Can see the shadow of my GoPro. By the way, I got a GoPro, so I won't be recording on my phone. Anyway, so what we gotta do is take out these bolts here and all the way around the clutch. That way we can get to the flywheel. I'm a little concerned because I didn't buy a replacement flywheel. I'm really banking on the fact that this guy's gonna be, in good enough shape to reuse. But if not, we're gonna have to make a parts store run and pray that there's something available. From what I understand, these guys come out. Just like that. Never doubted it. Ooh, that is messy. Thank you. Sounds like a rattle. Like a baby's rattle. Let me get you in close here. You can kind of see where there used to be an indent. And then it kind of turns flat. Then obviously there's a really dark spot in the interior and then the rough on the outside. To me, this looks pretty worn. I mean, if we want to compare it. Here's the new one. You can clearly see those lines. And then here's the other side. Here's thickness. Let me pick up the other one because we didn't look at the thickness there. And there's thickness. I'd say there's a bit of a difference. So yep, it was probably time. Get this guy set up. See some hot spots, but tell you the truth, it feels real smooth. Can't really feel anything if I run my fingernail across it. Oh, before I forget, take a close look at this guy. Yeah, sounds pretty worn. Then I guess we can come back. This just feels like gravel. And it's loud too. Yeah. Yep, definitely time. got an idea here. Really struggling to get this main, or the rear main seal out, so while I was eating my dinner, I think I found a little hack. It's putting a screw in the rear main and then pulling it out with some pliers. So we're gonna give that a shot. Let you guys know if it works. You can see there what I'm talking about. Kind of close to the crank, but we're okay. Not touching it, but you can see I've been chewing this thing up. So let's see if I can get this to work. See if we can use some leverage. Yep, leverage. We didn't mar that up at all. We're taking the whole seal and cover with it, and that's fine because we got to replace the hey, that actually worked. But we had to take this cover with it because we actually are going to be replacing the gasket that goes behind here. Sweet, I've been fighting that for a while. Put a proper gasket in there and then get rid of that little leak that I had. Wasn't leaking much, but it was definitely enough. So, all right, got you set back up on the bench. So here's a closer look at what I had going on. You can see we were close, but we never actually came out. Wonder if we can use this now to actually get the rear main out of this cover here. All kinds of silicone on this thing. So I think I'm going to switch over to time lapse and work on cleaning this up. Yeah. Alright, so I got this piece of gasket off from under here, and I kind of regretted doing that at first, and then the more I was looking at it, see if I can get you closer. I don't know, this thing's, it is rock hard on this side and it is flimsy over here, so this thing probably is time for it to go. Anyway, rear main, a good one. So we know, set that here for now. We know that that guy is gonna go in just like this. Let's get that here. This obviously is gonna go on this back side, which I noticed that they did not have. So I was probably gonna get some gasket maker and put this on just to let it, you know, just so it doesn't go anywhere. All right, so I took a rag and I wiped everything down in here. And then I went ahead, put some new grease around the spline there, and then installed our new throwout bearing. And so it feels pretty smooth, looks pretty clean. I'm pretty happy with that. With that being said, I think I'm gonna go ahead and take a rag and wipe this guy down a little bit, and then we're gonna reinstall everything. Maybe put some more gasket maker or silicone, just make sure we don't leak. The rear main didn't really look to be leaking at all, but I did have oil coming out the bottom here, which it's all wiped down now here on the bottom. But I think where I was actually leaking was this oil pan gasket, which is what I'm also replacing. So anybody doing this going forward, remember, get the rear main seal with the actual seal, and then the gasket that goes on this surface back here, and then also get this oil pan seal. That being said, I think I'm going to hop over to a time lapse, getting this installed, and then putting the clutch on, and then probably getting the transmission put up after that. Alrighty, now that we got the rear main seal in behind this guy, we got the flywheel put up now, and we have these bolts in place that just kind of snugged it into place. And so now we're going back and torquing them down to 73 foot-pounds. Now right now I'm going to go all the way around, or actually in a star pattern, and I'm going to do 40 foot-pounds. That way we can kind of sneak up on the final torque value. So I'm going to go 40, 60, 73. And I'm using a crowbar here, positioning around these dowels. That way when I push this way, it'll get hung up on the subframe of the car. I've seen people use like pry bars and get them stuck in the gears, but I just couldn't figure out how to get mine to work, so this was pretty easy. My pry bar is a lot longer than the ones I've seen, but I got this first one kind of what I want, so we're gonna go to the next one, which is gonna just be straight down. Alright, torqued. Alright, so in goes the clutch. On this clutch particular, you'll see that there is a side that's bulging out, and then there's a side that's flat. The side that's flat actually has a has an inscription on it that says flywheel side, so we're gonna go ahead and put that in on the flywheel side. And so this tool that came with the kit, that's actually gonna seat into the pilot bearing about that far. And we're gonna leave that guy here, and this tool is just hopefully gonna keep everything lined up. While I'm installing this pressure plate, I should be able to wiggle this around and still pull it in and out freely, so we shouldn't be bound up on anything. I got these all kind of snugged up, and we're still able to move our tool in and out pretty easily, so we're in good shape still. Like I said, I got these snugged down, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start here, and through my research on the internet, we're supposed to start here and then we'll skip one, so then tighten this guy down, skip one, so that means tighten this guy down, and then skip two, so that'll be 1, 2, and then we'll tighten this guy down. And we're gonna keep going around until we are clicking on everything. So we're gonna start here. Okie dokie. Once we got all those bolts down and torqued, should be able to remove this guy pretty easily, which we can. So we got a clutch in. It's been a few days since I dropped this. So I had time to recover from being very sore. So let's just restart that process. Scratch my previous plan. Wasn't the move at all. Yeah, don't do it that way, because actually you may not be fully seated on the spline when you're pulling the transmission in, and if you rely on the bolts to pull it in, then you might damage that spline, so don't do that. I did not damage the spline. I just found that, let me get you in. That brace, if I have it completely out of the way, like as in dangling down here, this transmission is incredibly easy to maneuver with my knee. And then once that's accomplished, this will just slide right into place. So there's no need to fuss with it. Would it be easier with a jack? Probably, but this transmission's honestly light enough to where I don't have any issue getting it up with my knee. So I put a bolt in the brace, which is why the brace is situated. So what I did is I got the transmission settled in, and then I basically put in a couple of bolts to get it kind of fastened into place, and then I kind of snugged those couple of bolts up, and then it allowed me to get this brace up and around the transmission. It's a C brace, so it goes around the transmission. I was able to put a bolt in, so I'm going to finish getting that bolted up, and then I'll put all the transmission bolts in, and we'll just start putting stuff back together. Well, hello. So, learned an important lesson about fasteners. If it's not threading on, don't send it with the impact. Alrighty then, let's get this guy put back on all four wheels. Easy does it. So something that I did when my clutch was going out is I adjusted the pedal. That way it felt a little bit more familiar to me. But now that I got a brand new clutch, this guy feels very different. And so we're gonna get this guy adjusted. There should just be a couple of nuts back here to tighten. They might be up here actually, but okay, pretty tight under here, but this is what I'm talking about by adjusting the clutch. Basically, we want to change the position of this rod, and we do that by loosening up this jam nut, which I've already done, so you can see. And when that guy's loose, you can spin this, and it's threaded on this bracket. And when you spin this, you can change how much play is in your clutch pedal. And so we want not quite that much. So we want to dial that back. That's a little bit better. See that? Not really too much more play in that. So we'll tighten her down there, and then we'll go on top, push it with our foot, and see how it feels. Alrighty, so we're up top. We have that jam nut just kind of finger tight because we don't know if we're gonna have to make another adjustment on it yet. But let's see how good this clutch feels now. So already I can tell there's almost no play in it now. Might have to put a little bit in there, but honestly it comes down to preference at the end of the day. But we'll extend that. I kind of tell where it's going to hook up, but I'm going to have to drive it to really get a feel for it. But I really like the way that is. Actually, I'm going to tighten down that jam nut, and then we'll take it for a drive and see how that is. Alrighty, so we've gone for a little bit of a test drive after the clutch pedal adjustment, and it is right where we want it now. This is exactly how I want it to feel. It feels very familiar, and it feels very tight also. The input is now direct. There's not a whole lot of extra play in the clutch pedal like there was prior to this, and the clutch feels great. For being a stock clutch, I must have been used to driving crap, because this is way better. And now that we got the clutch pedal dialed in, I think we're exactly where we want to be. The only thing that I need to do yet is dial in my mirrors. And the second only thing that I need to do is I need to go back and revisit the exhaust situation. I'm coming up to a stoplight here, so listen closely to just the exhaust sounds real raspy, and it's because I stripped one of the bolts and couldn't get it back on, so listen close. Sounds like a weed eater now. Maybe it's hard to pick up on camera, but there's a rattle that's present that definitely was not there before. So that's something that we need to go back and address, but it's not going to cause us any issues. I think what I'll have to do is go back, because it's the flange on the exhaust, right off the exhaust manifold. I'll have to probably go back. Ooh, it's a windy one today. I'll have to go back to that flange and probably pound out the old studs, since those threads are completely stripped now, because I couldn't tell you why they're stripped, to tell you the truth. But anyway, because those got stripped somehow, I'll have to go back, pound that stud out, and then just put some fresh hardware in there, and that way we can get rid of this rattle. With that being said, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Slapdash Garage. We got real fun stuff coming up in the very near future. We got autocross tomorrow, so I'm going to get that recorded and all edited for you guys. Should be real exciting stuff. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next time.